What is up, traders? It's Saturday, and that means it's time to do a quick crypto weekly outlook. I'm going to throw up some levels so you can see what to expect in the upcoming week, and we're going to dive deep into teaching you how to get the right levels. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? My name is Heath, and this is Trade Talk. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So we're going to look at these pairs today and for the crypto market, and we're going to discuss how I get these levels. This is undisputable information. There is no sales pitch, so stick around. So Bitcoin's current price action, we're moving up to test this trend line that we had from last week. Okay, we have closed all these, made new market structures lows, and currently we have pushed above this market structure here, but we need a closure above that area for that area to remain a valid area to look for bullish entries. I gotta say first, right off the rip, this is not financial advice. Anything you hear in this video is meant to be taken for entertainment purposes only. Now, first, before I get into what Bitcoin's going to do for the week, let me explain this real quick because it's important. When you're taking your market structures, always take the current, most recent market structure. Okay, so basically this is last week's area, and we're going to start a new weekly range. So you want to take your price structures from last week's price range if possible. If you're up at new all-time highs, then obviously you got to wait for market structure to be built. Or if you're in an area where price is pushing up, but there's no recent price action, however, there is old price action, then obviously you can use those older levels, okay, until price makes new ones. So when we made this new market structure low here, we closed this candle below here, this market structure, which indicated bearishness, and then we moved down and created a new market structure low, okay? Now, when we push back up, we tested this market structure area here, right? But when we tested this area, which resellers or reload sellers look to enter this area short, as long as price is holding below here, below this area, and then you can see they did get a new closing market structure here. Now, I have this line delineated for now, but this is important to know that this is a bear trap. Okay, why is this a bear trap? Well, simply because we got a 8-hour closure below this market structure, and this is your key market structure, and we have taken out the high of this range here. Okay, so this was a bear trap. Now, you can leave the line on your charts for later on down the road if you want. I tend to like the older areas, but as you can see, when we pushed up out of this bear trap, we currently tested this area again, and we rejected. Okay, we didn't go down to the bear trap area, and if the bear trap area was the valid level, you would think that that wick would have pushed down to there, but it did not. Okay, so if you want to leave this on your chart, you can. It may be relevant in the future. We do not know. So where did this candle test? What's this all about? Why did Bitcoin push up in here and test? Why didn't it push all the way up to this structure? Well, because you have a new market structure here. So let's drop this line here, and would you look at that? We didn't touch it all the way, but we came pretty damn close. In fact, this candle wick and that candle wick is probably pretty close. This structure wasn't here when this candle was made, but you can bet that when this candle pushed up, they were jumping in here to sell it hard again, looking for a lower low. So that's why it rejected this area. As you can see, bulls have pushed forward, and depending on where this candle closes will determine whether or not bulls are in charge or bears are. Because even if we push all the way up above this area and we close back below this market structure, that's not a good sign for the bulls. So you definitely want to see it close above this area. And then what you can look for is whenever this candle makes a high, okay, because it's got 3 hours left on it. So let's, for the sake of this video, say that this high that it has currently made already is going to be the high. Well, that's how I trade my scalps, guys. I will target that high because anybody that got short here will have their stops above that high. Also, people are looking at this downsending trend line here, so they're obviously going to be looking to short that. Shorts like to short anything and everything they can, and the more tools and stuff they have on their chart to tell them to short, they short. So how would I use this? Simply, when we come down back into 18,550, I would look for an 8-hour closure back above that level. If I got that, I go down into my shorter time frame charts, and I get long targeting this high to smoke that liquidity above it. Okay, that's how I do it. And bulls are currently in charge of this market. When are they no longer in charge of this market? When you get an 8-hour closure below 18,550.03, 18,550 spot 03. All right. So coming up, where are we going to look for this thing to go? Well, we do not want any bearish closures below 18,550. If we get that, your next area to look for Bitcoin testing is going to be 17,925 spot 20. 17,925 spot 20. As long as you're closing 8-hour candles above 18,550, your next area is going to be the high that this candle put in, which is 18,855, and then ultimately this area here, because that is your last market structure high, and that area is 19,375 spot 60. Moving on. ETH. So I got rid of all the areas, and I'm going to just put on some new areas for you guys. Right here is going to be the significant area for ETH to break above and close above. If it does, your next area is going to be this area here. Okay, and that's quite a large range. I mean, the size of this candle could fit in this range, so it's not that far away. So if you're looking for shorter term scalping opportunities, then just find levels like on a 2-hour chart, if there are any. And there is one right here. And always remember, when you're looking for these areas, this is going to be your area. This last up closing candle before price rolled over, this is going to be your structure on a shorter time frame. Okay, these do hold, but the merit is on the larger time frame. So in a shorter term trading opportunity, if you get a closure above here on a retest of this area and a hold, you can look to target 588.59. Close above that on an hourly basis, you can look for 601.95 to come into play, because 601.95 is your 8-hour structure, and that's your 8-hour target. To the downside, well, if we get a failure here at this market structure, the next market structure to fail or to hold support would be this area here. You get a closure below there, then obviously it's going to be this area here, and that's how you do it, guys. You just simply keep taking your areas from the candle bodies, because candle bodies hold more weight than wicks. Here's the areas we're going to be watching. Obviously, you do not want to see a close below this down close candle here, because if you get that on an 8-hour or daily closing basis, you're heading lower. Okay, you're going to head lower. EOS, I did go ahead and mark in some of these levels. Let's just go ahead and remove them and start from fresh. This level here is going to come into play. This is your high side. This is going to be your low side. This last down closing candle's close is, or open. No, that is the close. I'm sorry, because it's bearish candle. This down closing candle's close is going to be the area you want to see support hold. Okay, if you get a closure below there, you simply have to go back further in chart data to get to the next area. All right, for the bullish side, you need a closure above this. You get that closure, then you can look for this area to come into play. Or you can go down to a smaller time frame and look for other areas where there was a break, wave test structures type of scenario. And right here, this bullish candle would offer up a beautiful spot. You could use this one or this one. It doesn't really matter. I like to use the very top of the structure. So this is going to be the area to look for an area of support or resistance. Resistance to come into play. So if you get a tag of this area, look for this area to hold, because this is your 8-hour market structure. I'm going to go back into the 8-hour time zone and give you these prices. So on the bullish side, you want to see a closure above 2.811, and on the bearish side, you want to see a close below 2.688. If you're bearish on this, that's what you want. If you're bullish on this, you want to close above 2.811. And then your next area to look for on the bullish case would be 2.80. Litecoin is doing pretty much the same thing everything is, so it looks like it is holding a low or has made a low. Now, whether or not this low whether or not this low holds is to be discovered. So currently, that low is 71.09, and the high, the area you want to see, if you're still bearish, hold would be 77.42. If you're bullish, you definitely want to see a break above that area and a close above that area on an 8-hour closing basis. Once again, that area is 77.42. If that happens, and you want to look for the next area to look for would be 84.69. Because it's this area. Once again, if you have a bigger range like this and you're not a swing traders, these are your ranges for swing trades, okay? Because these things are moving pretty good right now because of all the volatility in the crypto markets because of Bitcoin. So they're trading really good. So these are your swing trading regions, and that's, for on an 8-hour basis. Your lower term traders, your scalpers or whatnot, you need to go in the chart, find an area. Here's the last closing candle before the push down, okay, above this market structure high, and here's one as well. So either one of these two are good, and if you're that short term minded like me, you could just mark both of them. One of those areas will catch support or resistance. We'll catch the resistance. Will it hold? We don't know. We have to let price tell us. So those areas are 79.88 and 81.16. Stellar. I'm going to put that back on real quick because that has validity still. So there we go. That's what it's doing on that end. And let's go get some market structures here. That hasn't been tested yet. This one hasn't been tested yet. So this is going to be your inner weekly zone for the week ahead. You don't want to see any, if you're bullish, you do not want to see any closures below 0.145815. Let's just call it 14.8. And if you're bearish, you don't want to see no closures above 0.188. All right. So for bulls, you definitely want to close above this downsending trend line, and you definitely want to close above this market structure high. That's at 0.17. My apologies. Today's a rough day for me, guys, so just bear with me, please. And that's going to be your weekly range on Stellar. So these are your weekly areas on Tezos holding this area here. So let's go ahead and put a new one right here because this is your new market structure high. If you get a break above that, you're going to want to see a break above this as well. This is currently, this blue line at 2.1461 is holding resistance currently. That's a last week daily market structure that I found last week. So now this market structure was tested when we pushed up here. So this market structure is ultimately going to hold as support, or that's what you want to see if you're bullish, is for this to hold support. But since this area was already tested, I like to use the new fresh market structures that have not been tested. This is going to be this area here because we did not come down and test this area. So for the bull case, as long as you get a closure above 2.0796, you're still golden. It could still push up to 2.1762. You do not want to see a bearish close on an 8-hour candle below that area. If you get that, then you have to go over here and find a market structure that has not been tested yet. And that would be this area right here at 2.0146. These candles did not test this area. So if this is just a lower high and the bears still have control of this market, they're going to be aiming for 2.0146. Comp is struggling we did get a push back above and a close above this level here. This is last week's level. This is closing back below it. Oh no, this isn't last week's area. What am I talking about? I guess I put it on there last week, this line, but so far it's holding resistance. We did get a bearish close back below it, so it does look like this thing's wanting to test lower. The first area to watch for, it has already been tested, so we will move lower. It would be this area here. Now this area was already tested as well, and it's right under current price. So you could probably look for this area to not hold. It might fidget around there a little bit, but I'm assuming since this area was not tested, this 126.813, area was not tested on the push up and did not come back into this area. This area is a fresh area. If bears have control of this market, I can definitely see this area coming into play at 126.81. Okay, this area right here, delineated by that. If we get another bullish close above that line, then the next area to look for a bullish target would be 164.69. Uni. All right, so let's start from fresh. Here we go. This level here has not been tested, so let's get us a marker on that area for the bears, and then let's get one up here for the bulls. Here we go. Now, this is a market structure right here, okay, and this is being tested. So a pushback down to 2.93963 would look for support to hold if you're bullish, and then your target would be this line, but that would be like an initial target since it's already been tested. If bulls have control, I do see this thing going to 3.352. Okay, if we get a closure below 2.963, look for 2.597, and I'll delineate that with this line here. There you go. You can also look for this candle's close here to be tested. Any area in here is going to offer up. This is your main market structure low, though. So that's definitely where you want to see something happen or target that area. If you're short Link, I got all kinds of stuff going on here on Link, so I got to start from scratch. This trend line was broken, and bears have control of this market. This is your structure here, high. This is your structure here, low. Right there. So a hold above that, you can look for this. So if a hold of 11.65, that's an 8-hour closing hold. Remember, price can push through that level as long as it closes above it. That's more indicative of bullish pressure and would be targeting 12.62 right here. If you get a closure below 11.65, look for this area down here to come into play. That's a long range, so you could go into a smaller time frame chart, and with this candle here, I'm sure, and this candle here, which this candle's up into these lows, so it'd be this candle here. I'm sure there's at least an hourly down closing candle. ADA. Now this is on Binance because Coinbase doesn't have it, and these levels are already put into place. Here's your market structure high that you need to close above if you're bullish, and that's 0.148. If you're bearish, then you want to see a close below 0.13. If you get that on the bearish side, your next area to look for, or your next area to target, would be 0.132. And on the bull side, if you do get that closure above 0.14, you're looking for 0.159. Okay, that's going to be your fresh, clean area. That's where you want to see bulls get to. DOTUSD. Everything's basically doing the same thing, but we'll go ahead and mark out these areas. This is a fresh bearish area, so if this is going to remain bearish, it needs to close below 4.615. Bullish, you definitely need to close above these two candles delineated by this line, and that's going to be 4.80. Then your next area to break through is just right above current price, so that's going to be 4.89. And then ultimately up here is going to be your last, or you could use the lower end of it, this bullish candle. It's always opposite. It's always opposite. The last, in an uptrend, your levels are going to come from the last down closing candle. And in a downtrend, your levels are going to come from the last up closing candle. Because basically what that's saying is on the downside, this up closing candle here, for instance, let's use this one since we got it up here. This was the only, we had a push down and then this up close candle and then boom. So basically in this up closing candle, the reason that matters is because they were selling this push up. They were selling that. So there's a lot of sell orders still left here. That's why these levels come into play. Okay, that is why. They will hold areas. You can call it support and or you can call it support and resistance. You can call it supply and demand. You can call them bullish and bearish order blocks. I don't care what you call them. Just know that your pros are looking at those areas, guys. Those are your pro areas to look for. Those are the areas I look for. Those are the areas all the pros look for. And that's going to wrap things up here. There's nothing more for me to look at on this watch list. So once again, guys, I apologize, but not a great day for me. If you're new, like and subscribe, because the knowledge that's being dropped on this YouTube channel is being dropped for free. I'm not selling courses. I'm not selling you anything, and that's highly unlikely on YouTube. So make sure you stick around, because we're gonna blow the top off this thing. I'll talk to you next time.